Hi everyone, my name is Matteo Politi and my background is in pharmaceutical chemistry and herbal medicine. And at the moment I'm working in collaboration with Ayahuasca Center in Peru and the University of Chieti in Italy. I'm presenting here some of my concerns about the current trend to develop an evidence-based medicine from ayahuasca. These procedures require some standardization of certain steps in order to assess the quality, safety, and efficacy of the medicine. Like for any other evidence-based research, in order to go ahead to investigate on a new step, we need to get evidence from the previous one. And that's why I won't touch at all the final step, the clinical assessing of ayahuasca medicine. This because I have already some concerns about the two previous steps, botanical identification of the plant material and the transformation of this plant material into the medicine. So, first of all, some consideration about the botanical aspect of ayahuasca. What is in ayahuasca? Well, actually, too many things, too many plants. Apart from the two major ones, Banisteriopsis capi and Psychotria viridis, that everybody knows, well, people use many other plants as a mixture, as more ingredients. Here is just a few days ago, Giorgio Samorini published this very interesting article about admixture plant to ayahuasca. He counts almost 80 admixture plants. Here, Stephen Bayer, in this book, Singing to the Plants, counts 120 admixture plants. And by the same way, actually, they prepare a decoction that is still called ayahuasca. Even Dennis McKenna a few days ago just said every shaman practically has his own brew in the jungle. So a brew that we used to call ayahuasca, but this is just one of the many names used in the jungle to define something that is not so easy to define. And here I'm happy to see that even the organizer of these meetings have some concern about using specific name and why they matters. I will say something on this point later. Anyway, at this stage, the only thing that we can say is that the first step toward the development of an evidence-based medicine from ayahuasca is based on an assumption. And the assumption is that we assume that ayahuasca is the combination between Banisteriopsis capi and Psychotria viridis. That's fine, but I think it's important to be aware that we are dealing with something that is every time much more close to a new drug rather than to a traditional one. Anyway, let's go ahead to the next step, the processing of the plant material to transform the plant material into the medicine. Here we are in 1972. This is one of the first reports that describe the preparation of the drug, ayahuasca. So the scientists here took note about the preparation steps that they observed in the jungle. And actually, they took note about the amount and the part of the plant used, the amount of water, and the cooking time, 1 hour in this case. So they actually describe the preparation of a cup of tea, right? So it's a decoction technically, but this is, I suspect that this is just a Western-oriented technical description of the preparation of a cup of tea. But anyway, this kind of description has some consequences. And here, for example, further research tends to investigate on the effect of those steps of the described recipes on the quality of the finished product. And this because the quality affects also the safety and efficacy of the remedy. So here we can see that the author evaluate the chemical variation of the major alkaloids that we consider responsible for the overall biological activity of ayahuasca, depending on the region of the plant material, and also depending on the time of harvesting. Here, for example, is DMT variation during the day, and it is actually a quite significant variation, even from 0 to 70 milligram per gram of dried plant material. Very nice, very well done, that's a good job. A question could be, which is the reference standard? Who can decide which is the right combination of those chemicals? So if we look at this kind of medicine from the chemical perspective, who can say that this is the reference standard? Nobody knows, actually. But anyway, here is another example. Scientists tend to investigate on the step that can affect the quality of the finished product. And in this case, they evaluate the cooking time, more than 20 hours cooking. And here again, a quite significant variation of those major alkaloids, right? Before we have seen a report speaking about 1 hour cooking time, and there are recipe in the jungle that speaks about a cold water preparation of ayahuasca. So again, which is the reference standard? Who can say that this is the right way, the best way to prepare the best medicine? But anyway, scientists need to standardize a plant extract in order to assess the biological activity of ayahuasca. And this standardization process is performed on the basis of the phytochemical content of the extract. So we are under our current scientific paradigm, we believe that we link the concept of active principle to the content of chemicals. That's very nice, and even simple, very simple. It looks very nice and simple. The idea is to have a standardized plant material, to get a standardized medicine that can be useful probably only just for a standardized society. The point is that if you go to the field, and this is what we have done, we went back to the field, we observed our local people in Peru prepare ayahuasca. We had some interview, some direct observation, and oh yes, they actually prepare a cup of tea. They use fire, they use water, they use plant material. That's okay. But during this process, they are doing a lot of strange things, even too strange that we cannot understand if we stay under our current scientific paradigm. And we tend to define these strange things like rituals or secret procedures. But, I don't know. I'm not a priest. I'm not a shaman. I'm not a magician. I'm just a pharmacist. So everything is done during the preparation of a medicine. For me, it's part of a complex pharmaceutical recipe. That's why we tend to go to the field with following an ethnopharmaceutical approach. So as a scientist, I'm obliged to take note of everything I observe during the preparation of a medicine. And what I observe is, for example, that people there blow tobacco to the plant or blow tobacco to the cup of tea or chant Icaros. They avoid to have sex during those days. They avoid to use perfume, and even they call the plant to help them during the preparation of the medicine. So what they are doing there, I don't know what they are doing, but as I said, I'm obliged to take note. They are calling a plant to help to prepare the best medicine. So in a way, they need the help of the plants. And actually, I thought, well, that's probably right. If I need an help from a person, it's better if I know the name of this person, right? It's just not a matter of speaking English or Spanish. If you call your dog, he doesn't speak English, but he responds if you know the right name. And it is the same for plants. I don't know, but I'm obliged to take note of what they are doing. And if we observe the preparation of ayahuasca medicine with this kind of ethnopharmaceutical approach, the conclusion is that on one hand, we tend to link the concept of active principle to the content of chemicals, while on the other hand, the link will be from the active principle is linked to a sort of degree or relationship between the person that is preparing the medicine and the plant. So a plant like a box of chemicals, or a plant like a living beings, first of all. That's fine. It's a living beings, and they can interact with the living beings. Well, I don't know, but this is what they say. And so that's why if we go to the field to study traditional culture and traditional knowledge, bringing our beliefs, actually, if we stay under our current scientific paradigm and we tend to standardize ayahuasca medicine, not only ayahuasca, using our understandings, the result is that we are marginalized culture and knowledge. The risk is that we are losing even pharmaceutical technical knowledge, and not only pharmaceutical, also therapeutic potential of ayahuasca. And this because if the active principle is a matter of relationship between humans and plants, well, ayahuasca can be seen as an ecological tool for planetary health, not only just a new pill for depression or anxiety, that these are human pathology. This can be much more this kind of traditional herbal medicine. And that's the result of our standardization approach. Here is our psychoactive wine in the West, Vitis vinifera, well standardized in the field. And we treat nature as we treat human culture. Everybody the same, everybody in line. So is this where we want to go by following an evidence-based approach in ayahuasca research? Well, I really hope no. I don't want to see any Banisteriopsis capi crucified in the jungle like our Vitis vinifera, right? I still want to see something like that. Biodiversity and multicultural society. And how we can keep this kind of environment? Well, I don't know. I don't have an answer, but probably should be nice to ask indigenous people, because they have lived for many thousands of years in a sort of at least more sustainable way within their environment. And the point is probably that ayahuasca is something that could shut down our rational mind and open the heart and help us to connect with other beings present in nature through feelings. So if we feel something for a person, well, we tend to protect this person. We tend to keep safe. And this is probably the only way to keep this kind of equilibrium with nature. So that's also something that go beyond ayahuasca. In the Amazon, there are many other medicinal plants that are considered as teachers. The concept of plant as a teachers is something much more than extracting new chemicals from a plant. We can extract knowledge. We should be able to learn how to do that. And this can be seen as let's say, a new approach in herbal medicine, extracting, again, new chemicals from plants. That sounds like an old-fashioned pharmacy. If we look at medicinal plants like living organisms, intelligent one, as even biologists nowadays say, and as a human, if we are supposed to be intelligent too, we should be able to understand that it's better if we change something, especially in respect with our relation with the environment. So that's why I'm very happy and honored and lucky to have the opportunity to work in collaboration with Takiwazi Center in Peru, because this represents for me, and probably not only for me, the perfect gateway to this kind of indigenous knowledge. We have a lot of data ready there to be analyzed. For example, post-ayahuasca protocols, directive written by patients. And so that's why we are a small NGO and we limit the resource for research, and that's why I'm asking you to support us and to come and to collaborate with us in trying to do something for changing this current scientific paradigm into something maybe more like a post-materialistic one. Thanks for your attention.